Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DJ and Heel Show post Raw breakdown. I am Brandon the Heel, along with the Black Box himself, DJ. What's up,
God damn
DJ?
it, motherfucker. You got to stop taking my introductions. I was literally just about to kill it with the black box. I was going to expose myself as the failing podcaster I am.
Oh, you gotta have that part. And of course, we're also joined today by Haas. What's up, Haas?
What's good, fellas, man? Let's break down this episode of Raw, man. We had a few things that happened.
So, what do we think about the episode as a whole? I mean, obviously, compared to last week, it's not going to be the same. But where do you think we fall on the scale when it comes to Raw this week?
I give it a
If we're,
6 out of 10. Average episode.
if we're going on the Meltzer scale, I'm giving it a 3.5, 3 and 3/4.
But it would be a
Like I said,
seven in the Tokyo Dome.
solid amount of decent wrestling, good enough angles, good enough storyline development. I feel like for a wrestling show, for a not periodic, but for a weekly episodic television show, this was really good for wrestling. You know what I mean? For what we're used to in Raw and SmackDown in the year of 2026. So, ain't got much bad to say. This is, good look up for the creative team. We got things to look forward to. Some things that can go, but beggars can't be choosers.
Well, let's start off. We start off the show with Solo. What do we think about babyface Solo?
So this kind of comes back. You know what? I got to be a shit stirrer real quick, Brandon. I got to steal your gimmick for a second
Yeah.
because fucking Kefis. This whole thing with Kefis last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. When we were yelling about the bloodlines being heels and baby faces, and we're like, well, the bloodlines are clearly heels, and he's like, well, they've never turned on the crowd. Well, technically, Solo's never turned babyface. So he's either the most friendly fucking heel I've ever seen, or WWE just abruptly turned this guy babyface. And that'd be one of the many things WWE would try to do, get away with, to the normal public without even mentioning it and hoping they could just get by with it. Kind of like brand split, LOL.
But are we at a point where you don't have to have like an official turn to go one way or the other? I mean, it's. I think he just slowly started. It was almost like I'm not going to put it on the level of The Rock, but almost The Rock in Austin, where they suddenly got over to the point that the crowd
Brandon, don't do that now. Don't act like they didn't just break up the MFTs randomly 1 week because they just decided to fucking release the other two Tongans and Jeff Cobb, whatever the fuck his name is, and this all came out of nowhere. This wasn't no slow building shit they were building to. No, they just was like, okay, this is a new direction. Solo, you're gonna be a babyface because the heel thing didn't work.
I believe, honestly, I believe that WWE is trying to go labelless, which is dumb as hell because they want us to go away from heels and faces. They want to be a genderless society like this woke ass world wants to go. So, uh, bless us with wrestling today. But we basically got all faces are at war. It's nonsensical. But I'm here for Babyface Solo. It's interesting. But as we see the way the rest of the episode shakes out, this may not last too much longer. But yeah, that's how I see it. Like we're labelless right now until the crowd actually revolts and acts appropriately.
No, not even that. It's just wrestling crowds are trained now to like certain, not even like certain things or certain people, but to react to certain things, to like theme songs, catchy catchphrases. That we have to blame Stone Cold Steve Austin all for that. It's all Stone Cold's fault. He's patient zero for this shit. With what and Austin 316 and the fucking glass breaking and the people losing their mind, that template is what WWE bastardizes for everything now. And that's what the crowd is trained to do in terms of reaction. You notice nobody gives a shit about Jey Uso unless he's doing a yeet cadence, a yeet chant, his new catchphrase, or his theme song's coming out. As soon as that bell rings, no one cares. And Haas, also, let me ask you a question to settle this debate. Are the bloodline baby faces and heels or heels? And I'm saying specifically the bloodline, not Roman.
They're faces, but they move like heels.
What do you mean by that? Emphasize, put a little emphasis on it, because I'm saying they're heels because purely their actions are heels. I get they never had the actual heel turn, but the way that they've been acting as heels, they've been doing run-ins, they've been yelling at people, menacing people in the name of Roman Reigns. I feel like they're heels.
The reason I say they're faces, none of their presentation has changed. Jay Uso still got when he's by himself, he still got his blue yeet music in the presentation. When
He's got a new catchphrase though,
yeah, but it's still a face thing.
and
Like
it's not
no one.
and warning shot bow is not a baby face catchphrase. I don't think, you know what I mean. That's not something you want your kid walking up to people to say. Warning shot bow. You
I
know what I
mean,
mean.
you just
And I,
talked about Austin. Austin had kids talking about "Give me a hell yeah." Would you want your kids saying that?
I rather say hell yeah than warning shot bow.
I honestly, I feel that Jimmy is more of a heel of the three.
No, Jake. No, the most heelish of the three is definitely Jacob, because Jacob's definitely the hound dog, the muscle, the brooding muscle is always is the most heelish of them all. And Jay, I would say you can get away with being a tweener because yes, he still does the yeet stuff sometimes, but so did Seth Rollins. Still had his whoa when he was clearly a heel when he returned, not returned, but when he came back the first time with the knee injury, he was clearly a heel, but people were still singing whoa, whoa all the fucking time. You know what I
You,
mean? So in WWE, I get what you're saying, Haas, in terms of presentation. It hasn't changed for Jey Uso or the Bloodline, but as they're also being presented as the heels, as the antagonists, as the people you want to see get their comeuppance or get beat up at the end of the show. You know what I mean? At least
that's
those guys.
that's why I say this
Roman's the
stuff doesn't make sense. There is no antagonist. This doesn't make any sense. Like there's no protagonist. There's no antagonist. It's
I
just shit
no
going on.
the bloodline are definitely the antagonists. They're trying to force their will on all these people. They're trying to force their will. They forced their will on Jacob. Now they're trying to do it on Solo. We're having, members of the bloodline interfere on behalf of other members. That's heel tactics. That's not
exactly. But
babyface act. Jay was definitely the heel in that match tonight.
It's hard. It's hard to say because this is family issues. It's not like these are strangers. They trying to get into their party. This is a family thing. So can we really say that they are really antagonizing them?
Hoss, all right, let's put it in DJ in the heel context. Let's use us three as an example. Hoss, I want you to fall in line right now. You fall in line. Are you gonna like me because I'm telling you to fall in line? Or are you gonna be like, yo, you're a fucking asshole? That's kind of a
Again,
dick thing
we
randomly
don't
ask me
share
to.
blood. We don't share blood. We haven't broke bread. We haven't been to family reunions.
I'm saying though, you get the premise of that exactly though. You get the premise of that. Like
I
it
get
would
I get the premise, but again, it's a tricky situation. Like this is a familial thing. This isn't like a stranger or a friend thing. This is family ties.
all right. I think that was enough on Solo and Jay. Let's not try to dive too hard on this one. But at least I got
I,
Haas to someone to agree with me that they're presented as fucking heels. I understand everyone's logic with him and Kefis and the babyface thing, but they're presented as heels.
I give another angle here. Look at Becky Lynch tonight. She came back last week. What is she?
She's a babyface.
She's a baby. You can definitely throw more of the tweener aspect to her because she's definitely more in the babyface role, but she hasn't changed. That's more of she hasn't changed her character whatsoever. She's still Becky
Okay,
Lynch.
but you see what WWE has us doing. We are assuming what they are. Like the creative is so lazy. They're not doing anything to tell us what these people are. Like presentation's not changing. Even her talking cadence hasn't changed. She still used the same line. You see how confusing this could be for crowds and people?
I think
Yes
it's
and no. Yes and no, because to an extent, that's the Becky Lynch people want to see. The people want to see Becky Lynch, the man. It kind of like how people wanted to see Stone Cold talk down to people like a heel, but he was talking down to people in a way that was beholding in a type of. It's kind of weird to word, but like that's what people want to see from Becky at this point. Like it's kind of the same thing with Randy Orton turning heel, and how it hasn't really taken because people just want to see Randy. They don't give a fuck if he's babyface or heel, and if anything, people prefer him as a heel, so they're gonna cheer it because that's what we want anyway. And
I
I
think
think
it's
Becky's kind of in the same position. Go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
I was just saying I think it's certain talent get to that part where it's not really going to matter. It's going to be up to the crowd to decide. The Randy Ortons, the Becky Lynches, the Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, you
I
know,
think it's only 5 people who fit in that category: Becky,
Punk.
Punk, Rollins, Reigns, Orton. That's it.
Because
Anyone else needs to be clearly defined. I'm sorry. That's the
but
point we're at. Even Oba at this point. Oba's in this weird tweener stage right now where he's not really
oh, I
a pure
disagree with
baby
that.
face.
I disagree
He's
with that.
You disagree with that. You think a
I'm,
baby face who just throws people the fuck around.
yeah,
He's
No.
babyface
definitely
up
a
here
baby
beating
face.
up police. Babyface beating up the police and
Beating up the
encouraging.
fucking police. Exactly. No,
That what
you know what I mean? Tweener.
uh,
At least get with me on the tweener. He's more
I
baby
disagree.
face. Listen, he's more presented more towards the baby face side, but Oba's definitely more of a tweener because he's done some heel shit. He's done some heel shit, not complete heel tactics. He's not like, you know, the Brock Lesnar type of heel, but he's a tweener. He's not a purebred baby face.
How often did Austin beat up police as the top baby face?
Austin got arrested a couple times, so hey, but
That's a
Oprah
fact too.
still out here on free.
Well, that's up to that Triple H got him out of that position. That's not, I'm just saying.
But what did you guys think of
Speaking,
the Becky, Stephanie, and Liv segment? How do we feel about the women?
thank God Stephanie is back. Ah, her
So
English has gotten so much better too.
hold on, let me ask
Yeah,
you guys a question too, because here's a crazy thing I've been hearing lately from a bunch of people, and it's kind of weird because a few months ago we were talking about how SmackDown's women's division was depleted and they need all the help they can get, and now that SmackDown's already now finally getting some help, people are bitching and whining about how depleted the Raw roster is, and now Raw needs help from all these NXT talents, and I'm just sitting here, I'm like, Raw hasn't really lost anybody. If anything, Raw just got a giant shot in the arm with Becky and Stephanie returning. And Naomi's sitting here knocking on the door anytime soon from maternity leave if she wants to come back and doesn't want to have more kids. So that's always a possibility too. So I think people are jumping the gun on Raw because so many people have flooded to SmackDown to help out the SmackDown women's division because of how bad it was floundering, and I just don't think they're appreciating what we do have right now. We have Raquel as the IC title champion. God, IC champion. We got Liv possibly in a 3-way for her next big feud between Stephanie and Becky, which is actually a nice filler feud, to be honest. You get to introduce Becky. She doesn't have to return to really lose her first match. Same with Stephanie, and you could possibly segue this to a Stephanie Becky feud, which I think those matches would be pretty good. So, in terms of the possibility, I thought this was one of the better segments in terms of accomplishing things tonight because now there's more possibilities in the air.
I'll push back on the women's part you're talking about because once you get past that main event scene and you go into the mid card, who do you have? We're seeing the same women on every single week.
For Raw.
Yeah, for Raw, you got Lyra
But
now
but but it's all
creeping in.
hold on. It's all new name. It's not like these are all the same old names we're seeing. These are all new names we've been only seeing for like the past month and a half, 2 months now. Come on,
Right,
Sol
but I
Ruka,
think
Roxanne
there's
finally
also
getting some fucking TV time.
there's people on.
Lyra's having a new character change. Fucking Maxine's with Austin Theory now. There is a lot of new women taking a lot of new direction in terms of the mid card division in SmackDown. It's not like it's just there's nothing going on and there's nobody. There's things
I
going on,
I
and
think
it's
there
new
are
names.
I think there are 4 names from SmackDown that could be moved over to Raw to help with the mid card division, and plus give those 4 names things to do because they are just not getting used right now because there's just too much on SmackDown. Blake Monroe, Jordan Grace, Kiana James, and Julia.
The first 2, yes. The second 2, no. Keep them on. You can maybe move one. I think keep Kiana on SmackDown because actually 2026 has been the year of Kiana James. I think she's, if there's a most improved of the year, she's definitely winning said award. Julia could use a change of scenery, and plus teasing an eventual Stephanie and Julia match could be the kind of igniters she needs to get her, get her back over and get her back to being interesting. So, and Blake, she hasn't been around or debuted yet, and we don't need her and Tiffany on the same roster. Let's be honest. And Jordan has been a fucking. That's a crime. That's a crime. The fact that Jordan Grace is barely. I understand she was injured for a bit, but the fact that she hasn't been on TV, the like, and the with the way she looks and the way she works, you think Triple A would. I said Triple A. Triple H would be doing everything in his power to fucking push her.
I mean, her and Ivy Nile are the same thing. Like they don't do nothing with Ivy Nile, so they're not doing anything with Jordan Grace. They're the same person.
Jordan Grace is not Ivy. Not we can't
Jordan can
put that.
wrestle way better than Ivy.
Yeah,
I mean that. I mean, we can argue that, but I'm just saying they got the same build. They're short muscle
No,
hamsters.
I'm just saying I've actually seen Jordan Grace have way better matches than Ivy Nile. If watch Jordan Grace versus Trinity Fatu when Naomi was in fucking TNA and she was the Knockouts champion.
go watch
Oh,
this past week's main event with Ivy Nile, and then come back to me and tell me if you think she can wrestle.
I trust me. I'm not debating their wrestling acumen. I'm just talking about their aesthetics. They're the same aesthetically.
Yeah. Point is,
But
I think those women would help give you a more depth in the mid card intercontinental title picture than because we're already seeing a pretty heavy. There's a lot of women in the both in the main title picture and the U.S. title picture over on SmackDown. Plus, we just got Tatum on SmackDown, and we're probably getting Lola Vice on SmackDown. So moving some of the names I mentioned over to Raw won't hurt them at all.
Brandon, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. All these women are boring. Like they look good, they wrestle okay. They're boring characters. They're all boring. Every last one of them. That's the
Tatum's
that's the
not.
worst thing about it. They're all boring. I mean, most of them look good, but they're boring as shit. That's why they get no reactions.
Tatum.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong for the most part. For the most part, he's right. There are certain. I wouldn't say all of the women. I believe Rhea, Charlotte, Alexa. At least on that's SmackDown, and on Raw, there's Liv, Stephanie, Becky. I'm not quite sure how to help you. Oh my god, my Alexa just answered. That's fucking hilarious. And I feel like I'm forgetting a name on Raw.
You forget
I could
Chelsea
be
Green,
wrong.
the most entertaining woman in the
Oh,
company.
Chelsea Green on SmackDown too. I'm sorry. The I forgot the world champion. Fuck. But I feel like there's enough women who know how to get themselves over in terms of entertainment value. But I feel like also when you're working in NXT and specifically Shawn Michaels NXT, the work rate has been more of a focal point than the characters. Unless your name's Jada Parker.
But
Tatum
that's the biggest
Paxley's
damn
going to
good
be.
thing. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
Tatum's going to be big. Tatum's going to be a big star. She's definitely different than like the ones we got.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Blake Monroe would be a big shot in the arm for Raw. Now, I agree with you on that one.
So, but we had a lot of luchadors. We
Yo,
had two
I
Yeah,
big.
swear to God, if you take one more of my fucking segues, God damn you. I was ready. I was about to be like, hey, Brandon, did you know there was some luchador wrestling? Just to get the fucking trolling on, but fuck.
But I'm just saying, last week I talked about Roman Reigns being used to kind of push for AAA. This was a very AAA heavy show. Are we not? Are we still going to pretend like we're not trying to use the main roster to help get eyes on AAA, which was an
No,
entire argument
You're
for a
correct.
week?
You're correct.
we are no, and it feeds into the argument I had with JJ to where I said WWE does care about AEW and does go out their way to fuck with them. Just the amount that they fuck with them does vary. But I feel like 2026 they've, or at least 2025 and 2026 they've gone out their way more than past to fuck with AEW. So this is definitely a current example of them doing it. If you don't think they're doing it, I got a giant field to sell you in Idaho because they're definitely fucking doing it. But in terms of the matches, I thought Penta versus Laredo Kid wasn't that bad. It's a good way to introduce lucha style to people who don't watch it. You know what I mean? If you want to watch a match for the first time and getting introduced to a luchador style match, this is a good one to get into. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst, but they worked well together, and the right person won. I think the plan is to have Penta versus Phoenix for the final, just so it's going to be, because that's going to be the light tease into the Lucha Bros reuniting in AAA. Because I agree with Brandon, the point he brought up a while ago, to where I think they're saving the Lucha Bro reunion for AAA instead of the main roster. So when they bring it up to the main roster, they can be like, oh, this is one of the, not only one of the best tag teams we have here in WWE, but one of the best tag teams in all of Lucha Libre. So that's the direction I see them doing with this tournament. The Dom match, I
Why is
mean,
Dom losing?
I was just about to say that Dom loses again. I mean, this is just a reoccurring theme now. I think WWE is just training us to not give a shit about Dom. And this kind of feeds into Dom bitching earlier this week about the booking, the difference between AAA and the main roster, and how he feels that WWE needs to be more like the main roster in terms of creative and the booking and the direction they take on storylines and stuff like that.
There needs to be consistency between the brands.
Dom's being punished, I believe. I think he's being punished by backstage. When he says these things backstage, I don't think Triple H likes it. You comparing his booking to Undertaker's booking. I mean, this you're asking to be punished. So I think they're not going to fully extinguish Dom because they can't, but they're going to make an example of him. Like we talked about earlier, fall in line, Dom Mysterio, and he has to fall in line. That's Triple H cracking the
It,
whip.
it looks bad that Dragon Lee is beating the AAA champion, and you didn't need to beat Dom for Big Cass to show up to beat up on Dragon Lee afterwards and do the what you did post match. That could have happened after Dragon Lee was beat. He was starting to get up, and then Cass showed up. So I don't, unless you're right, and he's in the doghouse and he is being punished, for speaking his mind. I don't understand what they're doing. He got a little more serious this week than he's been. He wasn't as comedy like he's been, with the whole Danhausen stuff. But there was no reason with Lucha Mania, with Triple Mania coming up next month, that you're not trying to make him look strong when you got one of your brand's biggest shows, and you need to make him look good. Otherwise, it's what you got a raw jobber, going against El Grande Americano.
I mean, that's going to be a big deal when he does lose next month. Like, what's going to be direction with Dom on the main roster? Do you move him to the main event, or do you have him chase the Intercontinental Championship again? He's in a limbo right now. Like, because we all know we can all agree he's going to lose to El Grande Americano next month, right? We all agree on that, right?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think that, but I think that's going to be the beginning of the quote unquote downfall of Dominic Mysterio. I think he loses his belt first, then he loses his friends, then he loses his girl, then you start the babyface redemption arc to where he starts from the bottom and climbs all the way to the top. I see Dom being the one-time world champion, Daniel Bryan underdog story, lifelong boyhood dream, rada rada rada, and that's where they can go with Dominic. At least after the El Grande, dropping the belt to El Grande. But yeah, no, I agree. Him losing to Dragon Lee of fucking everybody. I don't know what's WWE's obsession with Dragon Lee at this point. Does anyone in this room currently give a fuck about Dragon Lee?
No.
I mean, we don't. It's the AJ Styles rub. They're doing it. They're doing it out of respect for AJ. I believe that's the only way I can explain it.
No, I respect it, but at the same time, again, no one gives a shit. We're trained not to give a shit. He was in the LWO. Anyone who's in the LWO is who's not named Mysterio is officially fucked and no one cares about. Tell me where everyone in the LWO currently is right now. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Santos Escobar had to change his name. He's Romeo something, isn't
He's gone.
Cruz del Toro's got a 3-way match this week on AAA, I believe.
So he's in purgatory.
he?
He's in witness protection program.
Yeah.
No one's really
Let's
seen
not
him.
talk about AAA like that. That's not
No,
purgatory.
hold on. Where's Carmen Electra Lopez? Whatever the fuck her name was.
She's
OnlyFans
still
being
no,
fine as fuck.
no,
OnlyFans.
no,
Okay, she's gone.
no. She's not. She's part of that El Perro del Mal group down there. That's their big heel group now.
Again, gone. Nowhere to be seen on YouTube. Again, if I have to sit
You're
here and say this demeaning shit to AEW and Collision, I gotta put down the YouTube show too. Come on now.
uh, she's also in Natty's group on NXT, but I know how you love Natty, so
No, I think we talking about a different one. I don't think we talking about the same person.
you're talking about Carmen Petrovich.
No, I'm
No,
talking about Electra Lopez. I was saying
Oh!
Carmen
I thought you
Electra
were talking.
Lopez because that's what fucking Cornette
Oh,
calls her.
I thought you were talking about Carmen Petrovich.
oh
No, I
no.
was talking about Electra
Oh no, she got
Lopez.
released over a year ago.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
yeah,
doing
that's
OnlyFans.
what I thought.
I'm telling you that's where she is. She's doing
I
OnlyFans.
thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about Carmen Petrovich. That's why I was like,
Oh no, she's with Nikita Lyons. I know who you're talking about. I know exactly
yeah,
who you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. That's what I got confused about.
But I'm saying most of the LWO is fucking death. If you're tied to the LWO, you're tied to death, and no one gives a shit about you. That was the point of my long fucking tirade. Let's go to the next segment. Fucking Brock. Let's address the elephant in the room. Fucking Brock and Oba. No one
Braun,
gives a shit about whatever match was going on. Where everyone's,
Braun, Braun and Ova.
but yeah, everyone. So this segment I kind of liked, but I hated the backstage segment with Paul. Because now we're having amnesia about the fucking vision. Braun and Paul have never met. They're acting like complete fucking strangers. Hello, Paul Heyman. Hello, Mr. Breaker. This is like Paul's trying to get Braun Breaker to become a Paul Heyman guy or something. Like it's like they're redoing everything with that.
No,
That's the one thing I don't like with it.
I got it in my head. Paul is playing mind games to get Breaker back into his groove, so to speak. It's not first of all, Paul abandoned said that to the Vision that prove to me that you deserve my services, and that's kind of when he broke off. But he never like really completely broke off from Braun Breaker, and that's kind of what he was kind of he
Again,
said today. He even
Brandon,
said
that feeds
today.
more into the point though of these motherfuckers are having amnesia, acting like they're not cool with each. Again, hello, Mr. Breaker. Hello, Mr. Heyman. When there's been times Braun Breaker has yoked up Paul Heyman for saying less. Yoked him up. Now he respects and fears him and reveres him. This was less than a year ago. He was choking Paul Heyman up, making Paul Heyman his bitch. Now he reveres him. Come on now. They're, Oba and Braun are fighting for the respect of Paul Heyman now. Again,
I don't think Oba's fighting for Heyman's respect. I think
you're
that's
right.
just Heyman
No,
saying that he
but
respects.
that's what the fuck Braun Breaker's fighting for. Instead of this just being a giant dick swinging. This kind of goes back to what Mark was saying on Sunday. This should be a giant dick swinging contest. This should have nothing to do with Paul Heyman, unless Paul Heyman's just definitively Braun Breaker's manager and is going like, you know what, you got the old version. How about you go against 2.0 now, and then you start a series with Braun and Oba. That makes more sense than You need to earn my respect and make Oba respect you and show me that he's not the future. What the fuck? Again, a year ago, you just said Braun Breaker's the future and he's the reason why you ditched Roman Reigns. Now we're doing this angle? What the fuck?
I mean, this angle makes Braun look very insecure and jealous. I mean, it's giving weak man energy. I know supposed to be this unpredictable badass. It's giving weak man energy. I don't like it. And another thing too, I do not need Oba and Braun standing in front of each other like they was tonight unless they're gonna throw hands for real. Because if you just look at the size dynamic, I'm for the age myself here. It looks like Lennox Lewis going against Mike Tyson back in the day. Anybody remember that?
You're not wrong.
Yeah, because
There,
Oprah's huge. He makes Braun look small, and I don't like this aesthetic. Like they don't need to be like that no more. They've done it
no,
two
but
weeks in a
it
row.
it's hold on. It's a different aesthetic though. Oba is big and strong to where Braun is muscular and athletic. Oba can't move, or I don't think Oba is as strong as Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker is definitely. Actually, never mind. I lied. Oba did shot put, so he might be slightly stronger than Braun, but he's definitely not faster, and he's definitely not more agile in the ring. So
I I feel like it's a lion and a cheetah.
yes, there we go.
Yeah,
That's
and
a good
if
analogy.
you go by kayfabe logic, it doesn't look that great. I mean, it does. We know Braun's not small, but Oba just fought Brock Lesnar, and Brock just swallowed Braun when they were standing side by side. It's just a weird dynamic. I guess I'm probably on an island by myself there.
In terms of the matchup, I mean, I'm excited for it. It's a good matchup. I like their matches in NXT, and I just think in terms of what they're doing with Braun right now, this is WWE's way of trying to rehab him because I think they obviously see what the fuck they've been doing to him and like, oh yeah, we got to do something now, or he's gonna get lost in the shuffle and we're gonna fuck this up. They were worried that they were gonna fuck up an easy thing because Braun Breaker is an easy thing. You can't fuck that up.
No, you can't.
You hand
You're
Braun
right.
you hand Braun to any wrestling company in the United States, they're pushing him as a top guy, main
Except for
event guy,
JJ. Except for JJ.
except for JJ because apparently JJ thinks he's the shits. But other than that, like I, that that was one of my downsides of the night, just because I was like, why the fuck are we doing this?
DJ, you don't like Paul Heyman on a pole match again? You don't like that? That doesn't tickle your fancy?
No, there should be no tie-in between Braun or not Braun between Oba and Paul Heyman at all anymore. It's over and done with. Brock's retired. Brock's gone. Brock's career's over. Their shit should be done and over. If anything, I want Paul involved in this bloodline shit. Have Paul start getting into Solo's ear, telling Solo, listen, I always loved you. You betrayed me, but I'm willing to look the other way because I believe in you. And then have Roman see them having that conversation. Ooh. That's old bloodline shit right there. That's the bloodline storytelling we want to see with this new bloodline 2.0. Not whatever the
Okay,
fuck they're doing.
okay, DJ, I follow you here. If we're gonna go by that, we're gonna go by your logic that we talked about earlier. You're gonna have heel on heel action there because the bloodline are heels now, and anybody who aligns with Paul Heyman are heels. Do we do that here now?
No, cause here it could the dynamic of having the heel manager with the babyface talent could work because Paul Heyman is a cockroach. He's the opportunist. He's trying to take advantage of young little Solo, and Solo is also trying to take advantage of Paul. So you can tell a two-way story with that to where Paul's using Solo to get back at Roman. Solo's using Paul to get back at Roman. And Roman's pissed off because he wants Solo back in the family and he hates Paul. You know what I mean? So it's a three-way dynamic story you can tell. It's still within the bloodline realm. And we don't have to do all this shit with LA Knight, Royce Keys, because the Royce Keys thing ain't working, Brandon. Who could have told you that? Who could have told you that the Royce Keys experiment wasn't gonna fucking work? Who's been saying it? I don't give a
I
shit.
don't.
Shit. I'm I'm
I don't
fucking
think. I
I'm
think
fucking
you need
waving
to
the
wait.
flag.
Get out of here. Still, I'm
I'm
still not
waving the
agreeing with
flag.
you on that one.
I'm waving the flag. No one gives a fuck about Royce Keys. I'm not. Again, I don't say have pride in saying this because I wanted the man to succeed,
Yeah.
but they fucked it up in the first place.
Yeah, he supposed to be a killer. They softened. They made him too soft. No one cares about him in Palo Alto. No one cares. Nobody. So I blame Stephanie and Triple H. They murdered that black man's life. They did his wrestling life. They murdered it. It's dead on arrival. That's why they had to write him off TV. They
Hold on,
got to
hold
do
on.
something
Can
else.
you hold on? Say that phrase you just said again, so Brandon can hear it loud and fucking clear. Dead on arrival, did you say?
Yeah, it was dead on arrival. It was like they
Thank you.
try to go, man. He's from the streets and all this. Like you made him look like a bitch. It's terrible. It was dead on arrival. He's supposed to just come in and just destroy people. He did. He did.
See, finally, someone who fucking talks to me and understands. That's literally what I've been saying.
Like you got Oprah up here throwing police officers. Royce Keys supposed to be doing similar type shit. We didn't get none of that. He was up here crying on What's Your Story with Steph McMahon. Dead on arrival. It was terrible.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on the Royce Keys tangent. I just felt like
Yeah.
tooting my own horn on that one. But back to the point of, at least that's the direction I would go with Solo and the Bloodline and Paul, having Paul's involvement in anything on Raw. But if we're doing him and Braun and Oba, why the fuck are we taking all these? I feel like they're just taking all these different steps to get to the same place when there's a way easier path to do so. Um, what else? All right, and then last but not least, in terms of importance, main event time: Jey Uso versus Solo. I mean, the match was meh because let's be honest, neither of these two are in-ring technicians, but they're
Right.
families, so they can work with each other. But I, how can I say this? I'm enjoying Solo's babyface run. Jay's clearly a fucking heel. I'm saying that till the cows come home. And it was a expected finish. That's all I got to say about it.
Because there's more of a story there with between Roman and Solo coming up than to have him be free. So
I know, but I'm
Yeah,
just saying, in terms of predictability, you knew what was.
yeah,
This was pretty much a foregone conclusion. Can you
yeah,
say that?
yeah.
I mean, they're going to be some sense in the Solo. He's going to be very reticent to bend the knee. It's going to be a few more weeks of him. He's like, okay, I throw up the one, but he's going to do some shit that Roman's not going to like. So he's going to be like a petulant child. He's going to be very reticent until Roman beats some sense into him.
Brandon?
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, there's more story than as Solo having to being forced to bend the knee and being forced to fall in line. But I feel it's also going to add to the babyface push for Solo, and all of course LA Knight coming to his rescue, because I think we're obviously building to LA Knight and Roman at Money in the Bank, so that's going to add to it. So they're definitely
I
trying
really
to.
hope, in terms, I'm sorry to interrupt you on this, but I really hope in terms of LA Knight Roman that they don't tease this match and not give us a title change. If there was a time to do an abrupt random title change just for the fuck of it, just because we want to give someone a quick transitional run or something, this would be the time to do it. And it looks like they have no plans for Braun and Roman. So that's it. They got to get someone over with this title run. Let's just finally crown LA Knight, make the people happy, and let them hold the belt going into Mania. Maybe let them have a run till Mania.
DJ, you lost your damn mind. You think the WWE is gonna put that belt on LA Knight to WrestleMania? You are
I
crazy. I'm gonna
I
tell you
don't
what.
think.
I'm gonna tell you what
Listen,
happened. I'm gonna tell you. hear me out on this one. Hear me out. If LA Knight wins at Money in the Bank, whoever wins the briefcase is going to cash it on his ass that night. Paul
Oh no, no,
Paul
no!
Levesque
I don't
Paul
disagree.
Levesque does not like him. He does not like LA Knight. Michael Hayes don't. Uh, Bruce Pritchard don't. They do not see LA Knight as a
So
champion.
hold on,
So
Hoss, Hoss, Hoss.
go ahead.
Let me get an early prediction off you. Who do you think is going to win Money in the Bank and cash in on him then? If it was you, LA Knight does beat Roman that night. Who wins
I,
Money
I,
in the Bank and
if
cashes in
it's
on him?
me, it's Braun Breaker or Trick Williams.
You want to know who I'd have do it?
Dude,
Heel Cody Rhodes.
again, you've lost your damn mind. They're not doing that either. I want it to happen, but they're not going to do it. They're not
Heel.
going to do it.
I feel like if they like, just hear me out. Say Cody loses to Randy at some point between now and Money in the Bank, and they rush that feud to end just because they want to get it over with, and they want to get Cody in the Money in the Bank match, right? Because he ain't gonna have a title match at the Money in the Bank pay per view. Is that fair enough to say?
Fair.
So they're gonna try to put him in some type of marquee match. I can see him be the only thing he hasn't done since his fucking return is be in the Money in the Bank match and win said Money in the Bank match. So I feel like WWE, since they're in the mood, not mood, but kind of in the position now that we're just giving out accolades. Oba winning King of the Ring, Liv winning fucking Crown Jewel, or what tournament was Liv just in while she was the champion? She
Queen
was
of the
in Queen
Ring.
of the Ring
Queen of
while
the
she
Ring.
was the
Yep.
champion. So you know what I mean? So I think I can definitely see WWE pulling some shit off like that.
DJ, I see the vision. I'm with you. I want Cody to go heel. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. I see the vision, though. I see it.
It's not that I don't think they're gonna do it. It's just I don't know how they're gonna do it or when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
I don't think they're going to do a title change simply because I think they're actually switching the title on the other brand. I think Kevin is winning that title from Punk. So I don't think they're going to do both titles around the same time.
You never know. But
That's fair.
that I was gonna say you never know, but that could be. I think they could do that. I think in terms of trying to make up for SummerSlam, they're gonna try to get as much interest and eyes on them as possible. But that's our review of Raw.
Real quick, I do want to say I think we're actually going to get Usos against the Lucha Brothers at Worlds Collide.
I
Okay.
agree. I agree.
And when you're
I
wrong about that, I'm gonna call you racist.
yeah, I think, I think, honestly, I think that the Bloodline are going to get involved in Mexico City, causing Penta to lose that match, and that's going to lead to the Lucha Brothers, and that's what I think is going to happen. But maybe I'll get it right in the wrong, but in the wrong venue again. Who knows? But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw.
Thanks, Hoss, for
So,
stopping by and doing this with us.
Man, no
Our new
problem.
thing.
Anytime, fella.
yeah, and we'll be back this weekend at some point with our regular show.